Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilleys Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. We're going to do one cast today. Jackson's over there. Everybody likes to see Jackson. I have boated up here to the Narrows. They're not running any water. It's about 11 a.m. on Wednesday, the 12th of August. I got a little chop on the water. Actually, it's coming from the northwest. Kind of weird. A beautiful chop on the water. No generation till 2 today. And hardly anybody out. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats. Amazing. Of course, it's late in the morning. I'm going to throw a rainbow scud, number 16, 6X tippet, and I've got a little split shot about 6 inches away. Fishing an indicator about 3 foot deep. My trolling motor is sitting in the gravel, and my big motor is sitting in the gravel. So that's my anchor. It shows you how shallow I am. This particular place. And then I'm fishing out into about 3 foot of water. I see a lot of fish, a lot of rainbows. They're pretty active, especially with this little chop on the water. They've really gotten active. Seems like it was kind of dead when I pulled in. Wind will blow for a little bit and then it'll quit. There's just a tiny bit of current here, but my indicator is struggling against the wind, so it may even be making my fly right off the bottom a little bit because I don't have a very big weight. But the rainbows are really moving around a lot. I am going to swim that scud just a little bit every once in a while, move it about 6 inches a foot. Yesterday was slow for a lot of people, but Blake told me that he went out late in the afternoon with that 3 units running. He drifted down through here. He's using a red San Juan worm, a micro. His words, he said it just barely hit the bottom and he'd have a fish. So they were really on a San Juan worm yesterday for whatever reason with those 3 units running. But some of our guides said that for about 4 days now, it's gotten pretty tough for them in the afternoon, evening. And yesterday was just kind of tough. There wasn't any wind, hardly any chop on the water until later in the day. But they turned the water on pretty early yesterday. Well, I thought I could get one on the first cast, but it's a little bit difficult if they're not taking that very hard, if they're just sucking on it with this chopper on the water. It's going to be real hard to see the bite if the indicator's just barely moving. That's why I've got a really tiny indicator on, so it should be pretty easy to pull under. But if it's a real light bite, it gets a little bit hard to see that vibration that I'm looking for. Sometimes when you pull it away from them, they get aggressive and chase it and pull the float under. That rainbow dubbing, it's kind of a light gray, but it's got a lot of colors in it. It's been working really good. Especially when the water's running, you drift it under a float, or you just drift it with a split shot or a bell weight. There we go. He kind of ran with that. I hope I don't have him in the tail. It kind of feels like a tail hook. Can't tell. Yeah, probably was. Didn't lose it. I am using 6X tippet. Sometimes when those fish, you know, they swim all around that scud, they hit the line with their tail and looks like a bite, set the hook, you got him in the tail. It's pretty common. Oh, that looked like a take. Keeping my rod tip real close to the water because I don't want that wind blowing my line. Swinging. I do have an anchor out, but it's not big enough. The wind's kind of blowing around from the west now. I'm going to go ahead and stand up here. Readjust.
Gotta thank you, Phil. I caught my first ever dry fly trout.
Really?
The man up there doing what I watched on one cast.
Yeah? What'd you catch it on?
Little black ant.
Great.
Yeah, oh, man, it was thrilling, I tell you what. About 19-inch.
Wow. That's great. Glad you did. I'll have to go up and try it. Losing my chop. And I think I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm 4 foot. That gentleman said he caught his first ever dry trout on a dry fly. That he used a black ant up there. If you get a chop on the water that dry, it ought to work. Even in this dead water. The thing with the dries up here is you gotta fish. You gotta put in some time, and you gotta put in a lot of cast. It's pretty thrilling to see that fish come up and eat that. Just eat that fly off the surface. Boy, I can see him out there. Come on, eat it. Oh, he hit the line. you looked at the float. Golly. You know, there's just so many trout out there looking at it. I don't know, having? I think I do. They are looking at it. He's not very long, but he's real heavy. See? Not even, maybe 14. Weighed about a pound and a half. Pound and 3/4. Oh, this is so much fun. And I gotta go back and work pretty quick. We've been working on this pontoon rebuild all summer long. And hopefully by the end of the week we'll be able to show you some pictures of it. It should be in the water, and we're not going to get the live wells done probably this week. Brian's been on vacation for the last 10 days. He gets home this weekend. He's in Massachusetts visiting his wife's family. I'm sure they're having a blast. I'm sure the weather's awesome up there. Oh man, there's fish starting to rise around me. I see some really nice rainbows cruising around, some 20 inchers. This area is just full of big fish. Oh. What a person probably needs to do is come up here and fish a small, even a smaller, an 18 or a 20. Scud, I guess. Or who knows, maybe I should put on a 12. Somebody on a fly fishing post was talking about using scuds and getting them all mossed up. I know Dwayne and Blake have talked about using the correct amount of weight, whether you're drifting with a float or just drifting straight, or doing what I'm doing, using the right amount of weight and keeping the scud off the bottom, keeping it on the bottom but not digging in the bottom. And like what I'm doing right now, my split shot is, I don't know the numbers, but it's a real tiny, I would equate it to a number 7 buckshot probably. And it's not heavy enough. It's heavy enough to get it to the bottom, but it's not heavy enough to dig through the algae that's covering the rocks right now. If I was using a heavier weight, then it would be dragging that scud down through this stuff, and of course getting caked up all the time. It's a little disappointing. it's like anything else. I need to come up and spend a lot more time to figure out what these fish want. Coming up and doing 30 minutes of one cast just doesn't do the trick. Oh, ran with it. Got a couple of guides above me. Come on. They are not hitting it very hard. They're eating and letting go. I told Steve, he was talking about fishing big and slow. I said, you know, we've probably hooked enough of these fish enough times where they're really starting to get smart up here, and he agreed. Pontoon coming up. You can get a pontoon through here easy. It's not hard. You just got to know where you're going. I think I got a little moss on here. It's a little bit of moss on my scud. Yeah, he is going perfect. He'll get up here just fine. That's it, go right under that tree. Perfect. He knows exactly what he's done. So branch hangs the lake right there. And that's, he hit that branch. That's what you got to do, is go right underneath that branch. Well, this is, throw out there a little bit further. I'm going to hook one more fish. Hopefully land it, and I got to call it quits. What would really work good today, not necessarily here in the Narrows, but a jig under a float. This kind of chop, this is really perfect. And I know I'm fishing pretty much in the same exact place, but these rainbows, they move up and down this thing enough where new fish are coming by and looking at this scud all the time. And what's really cool is you can come up here and drop an anchor and get out and wade this. I've done that several times on videos, on one cast. And as soon as we get that pontoon done, I'm going to spend a little more time up here. Come on. Chuck Grease up there, I heard him. This rainbow scud is just not doing it today. One more cast. I'm going to cast down a little ways. I'm gonna get up here. Yeah. Just had a fish come up and eat my indicator, or look at my indicator. Okay, now I got a nice fish. That's a good one. Little fish came up and looked at my indicator and then it moved. He's bigger than the last one. All right. On a fly reel has a drag. You adjust the drag by this knob. You always want to make sure that's set just about right. You can make adjustments if you need to. Oh, he's a pretty rainbow. Again, these fish are so thick and healthy. It's pretty awesome. Point this down a little bit. Ooh, oh, he's pretty. So pretty. Keep him in the water as long as I can. Bug came out. I think I lost it. Pretty fish. There you go. Yeah. Lost the scud. That's all right. Gotta go. Thanks for watching. I hope that was enjoyable. Hope you learned something. See you tomorrow.